Welcome back, Roadrunners, to another Lit Medallion production. It's high tech, I tell you. Using my iPhone 12 mini, my DJI Ohm 4, cheap Movavi software. It works perfectly fine. Now, what do we got to talk about? We got to rub our hands together. We got to do the Mr. Miyagi. We got to figure out what's going to happen. There's two things we need to talk about. First one we're going to talk about is Jeff Traylor. The elephant in the room is, obviously, do we keep him? We all ask that. Everyone says he loves South Texas. Everyone says he loves Bernie. But if you've been around this sport long enough, you know one thing. Money talks. Everything else walks. Now, I've heard Jeff Traylor speak, and when he says it with sincerity. But let me ask you something. You're paid, he's making $850,000 a year. You have a program come to you in the state of Texas. They offer 1.8. How much do you like the San Antonio area? It's an honest question. How much do you like it? Especially if you go to a program that is a higher stature than ours. Who are we? We're UTSA in our 11th season. We've done some fun things. We have a bright future. That is absolutely undeniable. But if SMU comes calling, you're Jeff Traylor, you're from East Texas, you're up from around that way, you know that way, maybe Texas Tech comes calling, P5 school in the Big 12. What do most coaches chase, right? Especially if they're competitive. You know what they chase? They chase a chance to win championships. Not going to win a national championship at UTSA. Not in the current format. We would have to have a G5 playoff for us to win a G5 national championship. That's okay. That's who we are. We're not the only school in this program in this dilemma. So let's talk about what might happen. So we know Sonny Dykes is at SMU. We know Sonny Dykes played at Texas Tech. We know Sonny Dykes has deep roots at Texas Tech. His dad coached there. Spike Dykes coached there. I think that's his dad. I could be wrong. It's okay. It doesn't matter. His dad coached there. He played there. He went to school there. He's now coaching at SMU. They're undefeated. They're ranked 3 spots higher than we are. Who does Texas Tech want? Say they offer Dykes out of SMU. Say they offer him. Just put that in your mind. That's fine. What's SMU going to do? Who are they going to go after? They going to go after Billy Napier out of Louisiana? Maybe. He's done some good things with the Raging Cajuns. Do they go for someone coaching the Coastal Carolina? Do they bring in Hugh Freeze out of Liberty? Those are possibilities. Those are big possibilities. There are some other names in the hat also. But if you're SMU and you know there's a guy who's turned around UTSA in a meteoric fashion, our team has played totally different than the previous 4 years that Traylor was, before Traylor became our coach. Played completely different. 100% hope in our program in every way, shape, or form of the product on the field. Does this mean you take a chance on them? Maybe they do. Well, now here's the thing to look at. And this is what I have to say. There's a coach that's up there at SMU. The defensive coordinator's name is, you may have heard of him, Jim Leavitt. I'm going to let you stew over that name for a little bit, because Jim Leavitt is an accomplished coach in his own right. Now, here's the best part about Jim Leavitt. The program that he left, that he was fired from, let go from, hasn't done anything since they let him go. Has the name come to you? Has what he's done come to you? He started the University of South Florida football program. He was their first head coach. He took them from nothing to a bowl game faster than any other program at that time. We were actually bowl eligible in our second year and our third year. We just didn't get chosen because we were probational. But we were actually bowl eligible. Weren't picked. We needed other schools to not get enough wins, whatever, right? Didn't happen for us. Or we'd have set the record. But anyway, we went from 0 to bowl game in 6 seasons. It's pretty fast. I think he did it in 5, something like that. But that's pretty fantastic. It's pretty fantastic when you think about it. He's a DC up there. Does he stay? Do they promote him from within? If not, if I'm an AD and I'm worth my weight in salt, I won't even say silver. I won't even say bronze. I'll say salt. I'm calling Jim Leavitt. If I know anything about college football, I'm calling Jim Leavitt and saying, hey, we lost our coach, Traylor. We've got a job for you if you're interested. Would you like to come and see our facilities? We know you're used to this. Here's where we're going. We've got a new athletic center. We're jumping to the AAC. So we're going to have more funds to build up the rest of the athletic program that we've already started making strides on. Maybe Jim Leavitt makes that jump. But I bet you he ain't cheap, and I bet you he's expecting a 5-year, 6-year contract, and that he's going to expect us to stick with him. I wouldn't blame him because he's already been burned by the program he built. What has South Florida done since he's been gone? Look it up. They've been average. He was doing something with them. And in fact, their best years were right after he left. Not their best years, but they had some good years right after he left. And they've been this year, last year, year before. You can't, it doesn't come to mind, right? That's my prognostication. I would like to see that. If we lose Traylor, I would prefer to keep Jeff Traylor. He's a quality coach. He's a quality human being. And my first time ever meeting him, he obviously shook my hand, reached out and shook my hand. I know everybody's got a story like that. And he was talking about, I'm at least getting people to return my phone calls. If I can get recruits' parents to answer the phone, to return my phone call, I can get them to let me inside the door, I'm going to win. I'm going to win more times than I lose. That says a lot about a coach that knows what it takes. So he's got it. I want to keep him. But you can't cut the coach's salary in 2020. They restored his salary. I don't know if they, what they did, but still, they cut his salary in 2020. He still coached. Still took us to a bowl game. He still did all the work on top of having to worry about COVID, on top of having to worry about being social distanced. And our university cut his salary 10%, but still was only paid $660,000. So they took all. So he was paid sub $600,000 a year. His first year. I mean, previous coach was making 1.3. Coach Traylor's still at 800. I get it. New coach. You don't pay them more than the previous coach. They got to earn their way up their salary. I get that. But maybe Coach Traylor doesn't feel so committed to by UTSA with that happening. Would you? Would you take a salary cut just to keep your job? Some people would, knowing it was across the board, right? Everybody's taking a salary cut of 10%. Did everybody take a salary cut of 10%? I don't know. But I do know that he was one of the few head coaches in football that were put through that. And that makes no sense. 10%. What did it save? Think about what I told you. 10% off 600, less than 700,000. Did that really save anything? Nope. Maybe it was 10% across everybody. And then it starts adding up maybe, but we're not talking, 400,000 employees in a global company struggling, needing to take 10% off of salaries just to not lay people off. But I can guarantee you this, and here's my point. I took a 15% pay cut in 2019. 2020, sorry. Still got laid off. Now, they paid me all that back after laying me off, but I would have preferred to have that money then and get laid off later than get a lump sum later because I got laid off. Think about what I'm telling you. Time value of money. So here we go. Let's hope we keep Coach Traylor. If we don't, I'm all in on getting Jim Leavitt at our university. So let's do it, Roadrunners. Let's keep packing the dome. If we get to 30,000 all the time, every home game, 30,000, that says a lot. That's a lot of revenue for the university. And it's a very big time image of a program that's only been around 11 years. Networks notice that. Conferences notice that. And I'll tell you how they notice it. Do you think the SEC went to Missouri because they were a great football team? They were filling their stadium. Do you think the SEC went to Texas A&M because they were a great football team? It's because they have 105,000 people show up to every home football game. If you get 105,000 people showing up to a football game, that means you own the market. You do. I'll talk about why Rice was a bad choice for ESPN to get Metal in and get them into Conference USA. That's the next video. But what we're talking about now is let's keep Traylor. If we can't keep Traylor, let's get Jim Leavitt. Birds up, baby.